Hello, welcome back. This is Ning Kim Kong Sai, and you're watching TCN English News Edition. The headlines first. Kunu strongly condemns remark made by Chief Minister and Birent on Kukizo. MSC alleges repairing Kunu or Lamka Iron Bridge at this juncture is a plot to infiltrate the buffer zone. No work, no pay. Manipur introduces new rules for employees who don't report to work without valid reasons. News in detail. Kunu is upheld by the most communal chief minister of all Indian states, Birent Singh, for his most recent abusive remarks directed at the Kukizo groups. During his address, he talked about how the Meitei people have been driven out of Moray, Kangpokpi and Churchampur by monkeys. It's ridiculous that he would disrespect the Kukizo people by calling them monkeys. Any rational citizens would detect such immaturity and imbecility in a mature individuals such as the communal chief minister Birent Singh. It is also a blatant violation of human rights. His words and actions are equally unsound and absurd, which is unbecoming of the head of the state. At this rate, it portends some major events where the state will soon crumble under his authoritarian rule. Why does the Chief Minister of Manipur openly declare that Manipur is the homeland of the Meitei people alone? If he had brought up the valley, which spans 700 square miles, that would have been acceptable to some degree. Given that the Kukis have played active roles in the nation-building process, his genocidal crusade against the minority Kukizo tribals under the pretext of illegal immigrants is illogical and not justified. As per Hindu faith and mythology, monkeys have an especially significant role where they are worshipped as avatars of Hanuman, the mighty ape that aided Ram in his fight against evil. Birent is unaware that Sita's rescue from Ravan was made possible in large part by the monkeys acting on Ram's orders. Birent's callous treatment of monkeys revered by the Hindus believes his professed devotion to Hinduism as demonstrated once more. We only request the other tribal community of Manipur to be more cautious on the diabolical mentality of the majority community Meitei for tarnishing their images of their community. Under Birent Singh's anarchy, Manipur has been in turmoil, and peace and harmony are unattainable goals. While the rest of the world looks on in silence, such communal Siam is using its ultimate authority to obliterate the Kukizo people. The issue of when the Indian government would step in and put things right remains unanswered to this day. Kunu questions why the center has not exercised su motu cognizance over the sufferings of the Kukizo people and provided justice as the Indian constitution declares.
Lamapusi yung nakamay talay no. Kaya lamapusi Kangpokpi yung nakamay talay no. Imphal dari kamay talay to mi Churchampur di kamay talay sige mayam se pajja pajra nai ne ka prasada khanglo. Imphal manung ka jo pulot tana ko honor ko thingo boi ni. Adu thingo boi ne ma se Birent Bhatti ne chombra landra yo ne. Langgol da yung kaya le ramage langgol khatte da pata kaya le ramage ba bising ma ka tara mana langgol khatte da ऐसा ही क्या हिंदू के नहीं अभी ने बोलते.
The Macau Area Chief Association's MSCA Lamka condemns and refutes the statement made by Birent Singh, Chief Minister of Manipur or Meitei community, on the floor of Assembly during the 12th sessions of Manipur Legislative Assembly on 5th March 2024. whereby he has informed the August House of his intention to get repaired the Suknu or Lamka iron bridge erected over Manipur River between Suknu and Lailopai and deployment of the Kaktsing district police inside Churchampur or Lamka district. In fact, the state iron bridge provides road connectivity between Suknu and Macau area, but it was damaged by the Meitei militants on early morning of the 28th of May 2023. In this connection, the statement of Ambiren Singh, Chief Minister of Manipur, may be termed as exposing of his another evil ploy for enabling Meitei police forces or Meitei militants to intrude inside Kuki-Zo area for them to continue to launch their policy of ethnic cleansing towards Kuki-Zo community in the name of improving the iron bridge. Hence, the plan of Ambiren Singh to repair the Suknu or Lamka iron bridge at this critical juncture is considered absolutely unacceptable and unjustifiable under any circumstances. While the two communities are still facing ethnic crisis to each other since 3rd May 2023 until today, as well as on the ground that the said Suknu or Lamka iron bridge is also lying within the buffer zone area created for maintenance of law and order by Central Armed Police Force or paramilitary forces. It is, therefore, as narrated above, the Macau Area Chief Association has made an earnest appeal to the authorities of the Government of India and the Security Advisor, Unified Command, Manipur for kind and immediate interventions for not allowing Ambiren Singh and his Meitei community to do repairing work of the Suknu or Lamka iron bridge, as the said iron bridge is situated within buffer zone, so that the sanctity of buffer zone is maintained in its true spirit, and also it will avoid further escalations to be happen in the area. Besides, the authorities concerned are requested to ensure that no activity and trespassing within the buffer zone are permitted until normalcy is restored, and the Government of India fulfills the demand of Kuki-Zo community. However, in the event of any activities taken up within buffer zone without showing respect to buffer zone norms, Ambiren Singh will be held responsible for any untoward incidents in future. The Manipur government has introduced a new policy for all employees who have not been reporting to offices without valid and acceptable reasons, called as no work, no pay. The policy decision was taken as many government offices in the state continue to witness reduced staff attendance amid the ongoing violence. In this regard, a circular has been issued by the Chief Secretary, DP Vinit Joshi, which says officials under the state government who are unable to attend office at their usual place of posting on account of the prevailing law and order situation in the state have been attacked with deputy commissioners or line departments or field level offices to enable to function therefrom or for discharging such responsibilities as may be assigned to them by the deputy commissioners concerned or such authorities duly authorized in this regard. The official notice further added that there have been reports indicating that many such officials so attached are not attending the offices to which they have been assigned or are not reporting for duty. The notice also stated that such actions constitute conduct unbecoming of a government servant and amount to derelictions of duty as per the CCS Conduct Rules 1964. The state government views this matter seriously, the notice further emphasized. After issuing the notice, the Manipur government directed deputy commissioners and heads of departments to maintain a register to record the attendance of the aforementioned attack officials as mentioned in the circular. They have been instructed to submit an actions taken report by March 30th in the office notice. The state government also specified that the records, along with any reports of improper conduct, shall be shared with those responsible for dispersing the salary of the officials concerned. The Manipur government said the principle of no work, no pay will be applied to any officers who has not reported to the authority to which they have been assigned or who is not attending such offices without a valid and accepted reasons. Good Shepherd Parish Pastoral Council distributed an emergency relief materials which was sponsored by the Northeast Diocesan Social Service Society NEDSSS in collaboration with Diocesan Social Service Society DSSS. Info for the internally displaced people at the parish campus today. The relief materials include rice, dal, onion, potato, sugar, edible oil, salt, tea leaf, sanitary pads, etc. The people were immensely grateful to the sponsors for their thoughtfulness and their generous support.
Good morning. I, on behalf of the internally displaced people, would like to thank NEDSSS in collaboration with DSS for Imphal for the emergency relief distribution here in Namka. We have no words to express in such a difficult time of our lives. Even a kg of dal, it means a lot to us. So thank you so much, and we will continue to pray for you all, and do continue to pray for us.
Khanku Day 2024 was observed today at Bethesda Academy, Kemunum, under the theme I am here today because of you. Special guests of the occasions were KKL General Headquarters, Koitelui Area Chiefs Association, Koitelui Area Private Schools, etc. The program was led by the teachers Reverend Dr. Z. Lamboy, President, Bethesda Khanku Foundation, also took part in the occasions. As part of the program, debates were also conducted under the topic Stone Quarries at Tasing Hills. Is it for survival or self-destruction? Students were divided into two groups, mover and opposer. Students also shared their experiences in the program. Apart from debate, painting competitions were also conducted for the students, and the winners are first, Kaigin Lun Kung Sai Class 10, roll number 2. Second, Margaret Ningai Ling, Class 6, roll number 40. And third, Sylvia Tinatim, Class 6, roll number 45. Reverend Dr. Z. Lamboy Hauki, President BKF, in his speech says, this Khanku Day is being observed in other places. He explained in details about Khanku Day. He said, Khanku is a God-gifted gesture, passed on from our forefathers from time immemorial, and is being regarded as one of the assets of the Kuki Zo.
I welcome and all of you on this day of Khanku, that our forefathers, foreparents have found it and cherished it and give it to us for our survival. Khanku is an indigenous way of life in which people live together as community. The community includes human beings, the ultimate beings, that's God, and nature, both seen and unseen. It was Khanku that upholds the indigenous community. It was Khanku that brings peace and harmony, respect and acceptance among human beings and other beings, including spirits in the forest. It was in the process of so-called modernization, we have been denied of our culture and indigenous wisdoms through education and so-called civilization. In this process, for the sake of knowledge and development, we have stripped ourselves of.
On March 5, 2024, the second round peace talk between the Peace Establishment Committee on behalf of the government of Bangladesh and the Kyrgyz National Front (KNF) was successfully held at Battle Bank of Ruma Sub-District under Bandarban District. In the safe physical dialogue, some conditions to be observed by both sides during the peace talks have been unanimously accepted. The conditions accepted are as follows. The 6-point demands submitted by the KNF to the government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh and the draft agreement will be discussed and implemented in the subsequent dialogues. Steps will be taken by the government as soon as possible for the release of imprisoned KNF or K&A members on bail, and the army region will be informed as to release members if any imprisoned in the army zone. On the points raised by KNF, the issue of employment of the porters through the army camps, especially in Remakri, Pransha area, will be properly evaluated, and the army will be informed about the payment of fair remuneration. If porters are employed, all communities must be equally included. Education, health, and food assistance programs will be continued as before for the betterment of the Kyrgyzstan people on behalf of the government. This has to be expedited. Necessary steps will be taken by the government to create a favorable environment for the return of all Kyrgyzstan people, internal refugee, to their native places or villages. Both sides are determined to resolve any issues arising through dialogues. The KNF will not engage in any armed activities during the ongoing peace process and will continue to make maximum efforts to maintain regional communalism. To this end, the KNF will maintain a cooperative relationship with the security forces to maintain the stability of the law and order situation. The next dialogue to establish peace is likely to be held on 22 April 2024, subject to discussion. The SOO agreement between the Government of India and the 25 Kyrgyz UZ groups under UPF and KNO in the hill districts of Manipur had expired last February 29, 2024, and 7 days had passed, but there is no sign of renewing the agreement of the SOO from the concerned authority. SOO was first signed in 2005 by the United People's Front (UPF) and Kyrgyz National Organization (KNO) so as to maintain peace with the Indian army posted in the regions. It was revised last on 22 August 2008 since an exchange of witnesses from the central government and Government of India took place, which was followed by political talks since then. The concerned authorities had not made any public announcement regarding the extensions or renewing of the SOO agreement with the Hill UZ groups. It was rumored that discussion had been made regarding the matter, but no solid solution had been conceived yet. Since 2008, the agreement had been renewed after every 1 year gap and reviewed by the Joint Monitoring Group, JMG, and the pact had not been renewed till date by the Government of India. The pact had expired technically, meaning that there is no SOO agreement for now till the renewing of the pact, and this had inculcated great concerns in the mind of the public and the concerned UZ groups as well. The Manipur Legislative Assembly in its assembly meeting on 29 February had passed an agreement to request the central government to abrogate the SOO agreement with the Kyrgyz UGs, and the Home Ministry had already urged the central government to do so. Since then, the central government had not yet initiated the renewal of SOO till date. The Kyrgyz UGs had not broken any ground rules and didn't show any offensive behaviors towards the central forces, but it is a controversy as to why the Metis politicians are asking for the abrogations of the SOO group. Based on the official record, there are 25 groups under UPF and KNO with 14 designated camps. The designated camps of the KNO in Lamka district include Mongbung camp, and Paisat camp, Chongkhuzau camp, and Nalon camp, and the KNO camps in Kangpopi district includes Samusang camp, and Tigamnum camp, along with Jelip camp in Tinopol district. UPF camp in Persal district is Ankasu camp. In Lamka district, the camps are Paibatang camp, Mount Sinai camp, and New Taikot camp. Their games in Jandil is Mulvaipe game. In Gangpokpi they have Natelzang game and Tingsat game. With the extensions of curfew in Moray town, schools have started functioning properly. But unfortunately, the ethnic violence being the reason for stoppage of business in market, there is limited source of income for the denizens of the town. Parents are still not able to admit their children at schools. On the other hand, Kukizo women folk of the town still continue their sitting protest at a key location point despite many hardships and turmoils. As climate conditions of Moray is extreme and as summer approaches, it adds difficulties to the people of the town. Arrested leaders of the community and others are safe so far in the custody. People are still waiting for Deputy Commissioner of Tinopol's assurance that once schools start to function properly, curfew will be lifted, but unfortunately, his assurance have not been materialized so far.
ประเทศจาลินตุนิจันเห็นลายเกลปีมุนเห็นนูเตียดิวตีฮีอาจิตฮัจิงินทำไก่เตียหอนเห็นกวนตรงจุยนอบานบานเห็นติจนดิวตีชาร์ดเฮียกิซิมินอบานและนูเตียฮีทางปีเห็นสมสกิสมเกตจะขัดจันฮีอากิตาวจิงินอบานเล่อาเฟมิลิเตียสุงาเตียอิโซปิวมีโกโหฮีอาเฟมิลิเตียโหฮินกะเลวิซิตอากาบอลจิวเป็นอาจิตเตียงอนเห็นเกยังเห็นจิลายาหมอปุขัดฮีนาจนกระดองจีนไอ้เลี้ยไอ้สุมิเตโฮจีเตโฮเป็นอะไรนะเห็นอัมโฮสุงามีโซปิเตียวเฮอ้อมนาวเฮหาสัตว์เฮเจงินนะห้องสัตตะจีหินอารมณ์จงอันเนียวมาอินจีจนนัตเต้านะเฮหาสัตว์เฮเจงินอัมโฮจงอันกันเทมาวินไอ้เห็นละอัมโฮนกิปานาเลียนตะเราเลี้ยทั่วเห็นสยุอติจูไอ้โฮนูเตอดีไอซ์ไลเกียลเปียโตนูเตโฮเจ้าสีเดงอัมโฮนไอ้เห็นสยุจูฮิจิเฮียฮีนูเตโฮนะฮวนปะเทียนก็มาเตานะตัวทัวให้ไลเกียนุ่งอ่ะโฮจงเราตาสนุติงกันนะตาสนุนูเตเจ้าสีเละนุ่งอ่ะเตเจ้าสีมอริคุปีเละกิมเวลานูไม่เจ้าสีติตังเงนั่งหัวเจ้าสีปะเทียนก็มาเตานะอันนี้เกลโดจิงุกเตานะนี่กิโทปิวอบันเล่เฮลัยดิวตีนะโปจิงจีเป็นกิฮงกาลงอมงงินปะเทียนจานันตุนิจันินแกหัวจงบอยนะกะโตปอเป็นนะนั่งขันนะส่งกุลตังเจเราอมจนวมเราเดียฮีจงเนี่ยอามาหัวจงคำมันมีลุงเสนาจังเป็นอบันเนี่ยลายเต่านะจานเห็นอามาจงเห็นโคที่ซุ่มจนละนายลุงทิมกิปานาพี่ทำลุงมุ่นนะครับอันไหนเป็นเจลมุนที่จงแหละจอเห็นนั่งหัวเต่านะจานที่ที่จุดทั่วเห็นถอดวินแฟมลีเตียกมาอาบันเนี่ยจะลายนูเตียจานเห็นอิโซปิเตียวมีโกเฮียเห็นโคจงเจลมุนที่จงแหละโนมาซาบินอาลุงอโมงินอาบันนะก็เอ็นเนี่ยจงตัวเย่นั่งหัวจานเห็นจงก็กิปะมาเวตินปะเทนมินินกิปะทุกก็เห็นทอดเวติจูอามาหัวอโกนาจุเลอจิเตียวก็มันใส่จูใกล้ก็มันถูกจุกันใส่เทอฮี
กิปะ
The Union Home Ministry has doubled to 6 days a week the availability of chartered aircraft for CAPF personnel traveling to and fro between Kolkata and Imphal due to their continued deployment in ethnic violence hit Manipur, officials said on Thursday. As per India Today Northeast, this enhancement of the air carrier service for the Central Armed Police Forces CAPF's personnel from the CRPF, BSF, ITBP, SSB, CISF, and other organizations under the Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA like the Intelligence Bureau, NIA, and NDRF, has been initially done till September 30, the official said. The air carrier service pertains to the exclusive engagement of commercial airline aircraft like charter planes by the MHA for security personnel serving in the hard and extremely hard areas of Jammu and Kashmir, the northeast and the left-wing extremism LWE affected states. A senior Home Ministry officer told PTI that the frequency of flights between Kolkata to Imphal to Kolkata was hiked from the existing 3 days in a week to 6 days due to the frequent movement of the CAPF personnel for inductions and de-inductions from Manipur's capital of Imphal, owing to the dynamic security challenges occurring in the state. An order issued by the MHA in this context said the increase in the number of days for the air carrier service was being done till September 30, or till the presence of these forces gets thinned due to the law and order situations getting normal. Whichever was earlier, As many as 150 companies have been sent to Manipur as additional reinforcement since violence erupted in the state in May last year. A single CFPF company has an operational strength of about 75 to 80 personnel. Ethnic violence broke out in Manipur on May 3, 2023, after a tribal solidarity march was organized in the Hill District to protest against the majority Metis community's demand for ST status. Since then, at least 219 people have been killed in the violence between the Metis and Kuki groups. The smooth operations of the air carrier service for the CFPFs have been facing difficulties due to issues related to the pricing of tickets and adequate availability of the aircrafts, as many airlines have said so over the last few years, a senior CFPF officer said. UNAM Minister Kiren Rijizu on Thursday said negotiations are the only means to restore peace in ethnic violence hit Manipur and returning the state to normalcy will be the Narendra Modi government's next phase of efforts. As per NDTV, Rijizu put the blame for the ongoing ethnic clashes between the Metis and Kuki communities in the northeastern state on a Manipur High Court order recommending scheduled tribe ST status to the Metis. The violence has claimed at least 219 lives in the restrived state. Rijizu said the problem in Manipur was not an uprising against the BJP-led center, but ethnic clashes between two dominant groups, the Metis and the Kukis. If anyone wants to help restore peace in Manipur, then first go and appeal to both the Metis and the Kukis that do not pick up arms. An armed struggle will not lead to a solution. Peaceful negotiations are the only means to achieve a peaceful atmosphere and get normalcy back. That will be the next phase of our efforts to bring development in Manipur, he told PTI in a video interview. The Union Minister of Art Sciences said the government has been trying its best to restore peace, and Prime Minister Modi had appealed for peace from the ramparts of the Red Fort as well as from Parliament. In fact, this year's Independence Day speech began with an appeal to Manipur that the whole nation is with you. Despite that, the opposition are raking up this issue, he said. Rijizu, who hails from Arunachal Pradesh, said those who want peace to be restored in Manipur should emphatically say that the warring groups must stop violence and talk to each other, as that is the only way out. The Union Home Minister Amit Shah stayed there for 4 days. RMO's Minister of State for Home, Nityanand Rai, was there for 22 days and many officers were there, he said. Rijizu put the blame for the ongoing ethnic clashes between the two communities in the state on the High Court order recommending ST status to the Metis. He said the conflict was triggered when the High Court delivered the judgment, telling the government that ST status should be given to the Metis within 3 months. Don't you think that there was a very unique kind of an order from the High Court? Determinations of a community as tribal or non-tribal is the government's job. It is a policy matter. When the High Court passed a direction that ST status should be given within 3 months, naturally, there was reactions from the other side. So the clashes happened. If anyone says that the center is the reason for the clashes in Manipur, he can be described as a foolish person or the most unfortunate person to pass such comments, Rijizu said. He said the problem in Manipur was unfortunate as the Modi government has been making efforts to restore peace in the northeast. What Modi has done for the northeast in the last 10 years? It is 100 times more than what the Congress did in 60 years. Yet, one incident in Manipur became a talking point for the Congress, the communists and other groups. They have wasted a whole generation, he said. On March 27, 2023, the Manipur High Court instructed the state government to consider the inclusions of Metis in the list of STs. These directions triggered the ongoing ethnic conflict between the Metis and the tribal Kuki community in the state. However, on February 21, 2024, the High Court modified its order, directing the removal of the paragraph 17. that had instructed the Manipur government to consider the inclusion of Métis in the list of STs. The ethnic violence broke out in Manipur on May 3, 2023, after a tribal solidarity march was organized in the hill districts to protest against the majority Métis community's demand for ST status. Since then, at least 219 people have been killed in the violence, while sections of the Kyrgyz has demanded a separate administrations or separations from the Manipur government. The Métis groups are dead against it. They have warned legislators against any design and asked them to foil such attempts. Métis account for about 53% of Manipur's populations and live mostly in the Imphal Valley, while tribals including Nagas and Kyrgyz constitute 40% and reside mainly in the hill districts. Citing widespread starvations in Gaza, South Africa on Wednesday urged the United Nations top court to order Israel to allow humanitarian aid into the war-torn region as part of an ongoing case alleging that Israel's military campaign in Gaza breaches the Genocide Convention. South Africa, which filed a genocide case against Israel late last year, approached the International Court of Justice again on Wednesday and said it was compelled to seek more preliminary orders in light of the new facts and changes in the situations in Gaza, particularly the situations of widespread starvations brought about by the continuing egregious breaches of the Conventions of Israel. While aid groups say all of Gaza is mired in a humanitarian crisis, the situations in the largely isolated north stands out. Many of the estimated 3 lakh people still living there have been reduced to eating animal fodder to survive, according to some accounts. The UN says that 1 in 6 children under the age of 2 in the north suffers from acute malnutrition. South Africa respectfully calls on this court to act again now, before it is too late, to do what is within the power to save Palestinians in Gaza from genocidal starvations. South Africa said in a written request it is the second petition South Africa has made to the court, seeking motions against Israel in less than a month. In mid-February, South Africa requested urgent measures to safeguard southern Gaza's Rafah amid Israeli plans for a campaign in the city, Hamas' last bastion in the enclave. That request was denied. At hearings in January, lawyers for Israel urged that its war in Gaza was a legitimate defense of its people, and that it was Hamas who was guilty of genocidal war, and says it does all it can to spare civilians while targeting Hamas terrorists in Gaza. It says Hamas tactics of deliberate embedding in civilian areas and institutions make it more difficult to avoid civilian casualties. The ICJ ruled in late January that there was plausibility to South Africa's claims that Palestinians require protections from genocide but stopped short of ordering an immediate unilateral ceasefire. The order clarified that the decision was not a determination of the merits of South Africa's allegations, which may take years to get through the judicial process, and asked Israel to report to the court short term, detailing the measures it has and is taking to comply. The ICJ asked Israel to prevent actions in the Gaza war that could violate clauses of the Genocide Convention and order regular updates. Israel report was not made public. On Wednesday, South Africa accused Israel of violating the provisional measures imposed by the court, including that Israel immediately enable urgently needed services to address starvations and other issues. It called on judges to make orders without the first holding a hearing due to the extreme urgency of the situation. The delivery of aid to Gaza has been a central issue in the ongoing war. Israel, who has checked all trucks entering Gaza from both the Kerem Salom and Rafah crossings, has blamed that the United Nations for not delivering the aid fast enough after they are cleared, and for leading to a general fall-off in deliveries over the past month. In its request, Wednesday, South Africa also again urged the court to order all participants in the conflict to ensure that all fighting and hostilities come to an immediate halt, and that all hostages and detainees are released immediately, in an attempt to further ratchet up international pressure on Israel. South Africa also asked the court to order all countries that have ratified the convention to refrain from any actions, and in particular, any armed actions or support thereof which might prejudice the right of the Palestinians in Gaza to be protected from acts of genocide. Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry said Wednesday the Palestinian death toll from the war has climbed to 30,717, a figure that cannot be independently verified and includes some 13,000 Hamas terrorists Israel says it has killed in battle. Israel also says it killed some 1,000 gunmen inside Israel on October 7. That's all from us tonight, and we thank you for joining our program.